Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope everybody's doing good. We're gonna focus on something fun now. Since we're coming into spring, and one of my absolute favorite seasons and flowers are these. And so I'm gonna show you how I did this. And this is freehand. So doing it on your own nails, like I did, you're gonna wanna do the prep work first, like you normally would. But I used gel polish here. So I prepped them, and then I did a base coat, and then I did this, which is my favorite French pink, ASP gel polish, soak off. And so that's what I used on these also. So 2 coats of this over the whole, after you do the prep and the base, 2 coats of this. And then next I did these China Glaze gel polishes, because I'm doing the Arizona tea, art with the cherry blossoms. And so I wanted, a combination of these colors here. So what I did was, I've done it both ways. And the first time I did it for a competition, for the challenge that I did these for, I did an ombre between these colors of green and white. This time I did it different because it takes a little less time. And you're going to be covering most of it up with flowers anyway, so there's not much difference in the way it looks. So I just swiped it on diagonal, and then, for both hands, if you're doing both hands, of course, then I did bookends. So I just swiped a coat of this over, and then set it, of course, in my LED light, and then, go by your LED light, so 30 to 60 seconds. And then I put this, grab a little tile, and then I have my little cosmetic sponges cut up in little pieces, and I just took a little piece, and I wet my sponge first, whether I'm doing gel, just so it's barely even dampish, whether I'm doing gel or whether I'm doing paint, this one. And then I used some also French white by, the Brisa French white, and I went ahead and I put some of that on my tile, more white than green. And then I put this in it, mixed it in, and then I used my little sponge and sponged it, over. And you can do ombre however you want to do it. And then I set it under the light, and then I did a top coat over it, a no wipe top coat over it. So that's how I got them this way. So now they're ready to paint. My craft paints. My actual favorite brand is this one right here. I love the Delta Ceramcoat. That's my favorite. But Folk Art, Accent, Apple Barrel, they're all fine. I can just see if I can do it, just pour some out without making a big old mess, hopefully. Probably gonna use this to try and get this out. And I don't use very much of that compared to the white. I use more white. Okay, so now a brush, since I don't usually I've only tried the one stroke a couple times. I don't really have one stroke brushes. On my really good brushes, I didn't have any of them that were angle, so this one is actually by Light Elegance, and it's a cleanup brush for French manicure. So you can clean up like the line edge, your gel. Turn the longest part down. So see how it's like that? So this down, the low part, the short part, is what I'm gonna put a teeny dab of that pink. Just a teeny dab down here, because that's what's gonna make the center of our flowers. And then we want mostly the white. It's going to be on all the rest of the brush, all the way up to the longest part here. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to turn this, so this short part is down now. Barely, I'm going to try and barely, and don't worry about it. It takes some practice. I still don't get it perfect every time, and I don't know if I ever will. So see how we've got just probably even more than I actually needed. So I could probably dab some of that off because I don't want too much. You can always get more. And then I'm gonna put the long part, the rest of it, get this out of my way. The rest of it is gonna go in my white like that. And then I'm gonna cut it on the side like that, like that. And I'm gonna get a little bit more white like that again. And, just keep practicing with it. Play with it until, you get it the way you like using it and the way you like the flowers. So now I'm going to turn this back down. So the short part's down, the pink is down, and I'm going to work on getting my flowers started here. Right about there. I don't like to put it perfectly in the center. I like things a little bit off. And I want to do 5. So see how I'm touching the pink part, keeping the pink end to the middle. Oops, wait a minute. There we go. There's 4. How about here? And you want to keep that, that pink part in the middle. Otherwise, you're going to get it all over the place. A little bit more pink, and then I'm going to dip my white. Okay, so I'm going to work on doing a second one. Okay, so you do want to hold your brush. You don't want it like tipped to the side for this. If you go straight down and touch down the pink first, and then all the way to the, the longest part with the white, the rest of the white. So you can make and the more you don't want to just do it on an angle, because then you either won't get the white on there, or you'll have a short little fat white petal. And the longer you want it, you want to use that whole surface to get your whole petal. So let's see if I can get that straight. Okay, that's not exactly where I want my pink, but let me see if I can do what I'm saying to do. The most important thing is just getting, where you're comfortable doing it and where you like your flowers. Now I like that one. That one's pretty. See, and they're not going to be all exactly the same. I mean, maybe you can get them that way, but I can't. So, okay, so I'm just going to dab in white because I think I still have plenty of pink on there. And so I'm going to put another one, I don't know, somewhere. I think I'll put one over here now. So there's one. And you decide if you like the shorter, fatter ones. Also depends on how big you want your flower, because now obviously you're not going to be able to, do your finger around like this on yourself. But, it wasn't any harder to do it on my own fingers, actually. Yeah, 3 of them on there. So I think I'm going to try and just get some more white and see if I got enough pink on there. And if not, then I'll get a little bit more pink. But I don't like too much pink. So you have to be a little lighter touch if you want them. Oops, but I still got to put it all the way on there. And do my petals kind of going like that. There's a petal. Hopefully you can see that. And then another petal over here. So, and of course, if your nail's shorter, you're not going to be able to do that many flowers. Maybe you can do 2 or 3 flowers, or a couple flowers with some petals coming down. I think that's plenty. I don't want to overdo it. I think I'm going to go a little bit, grab a little more pink here, and then grab some more white on the opposite side. I'm going to start over here. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you don't want to, it looks a little far apart, and it might be a little more than I usually do, but it's better to have it a little bit further apart in the center than have them too close together, because you don't want it to start looking like a blob, right? Okay, so I'm going to dab down, get some more white, do down one over here, one over here, over here, over here, and over here. Now it makes it easier for me if I kind of put my little finger, rest my little finger, on my other finger, or somehow it's a little easier for me. All right, so I'm going to get a little bit more white. I'm going to do petals, petal down, couple petals. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm not going to overdo it. This is a striper brush, but this one it's like, I've had it for years, okay? It's Silver Ultra Mini. I have a set of these, and they're good brushes and everything. This one you can see has had better days. And this one has been used a lot, so you can see that it's lost some hairs, but it's actually perfect for doing branches, really fine, finer lines. It's, you can use it with a regular, I have a good liner brush too, and you can do that, but to just put less paint on and kind of practice on your tile or something before you use it, so you can get you know, you don't have too much paint. You don't want your lines too fat looking. So if you seal your flowers in, you know, then you can just use water with, you know, a little brush or whatever to get off if you've messed up your branch. You know, if it's not the way you want it, then you can take off whatever you don't like. But you can't do that if you don't, you know, seal this in, these flowers in. So this is dark brown. This one's by Folk Art. And I'm going to go ahead and use it for my branches. And so I'm going to start, I think, over here. And then, you know, I try to keep it off the flowers for the most part, the best I can. I'm just going to kind of keep this branch down the side like that. But I am going to add in some to my branch. So I hope you can see what I'm doing here. And then, let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to go from this one too, and kind of make it look a little like, you know, I didn't want it perfectly smooth. I wanted to give it a little bit of interest, a little crooked look to it, because it is a cherry blossom tree. Just going on the inside here, just kind of like that to my branch. Now you can do that or not do that. I think that's good. I think I'm going to stop, let that dry, then we'll do this one. All right, so I think this time I'm just going to do it the opposite on this one. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go here, and here, and here. And I kind of went through them, and that's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit right here. I haven't had breakfast, so my hand is not quite a steady hold in this brush as it is. I just had caffeine, that's all. Okay, so let's see. Where do we want to do another one at? Let's go this way. Add it to that branch, and then let's add another spot. Let's add this flower in also. And have fun with it. I'm going to make a little short one here, and a little short one here. Okay, not like this is, you know, has to be totally realistic. All right, that looks good. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. And now, if you want to add something in the centers, you don't have to. I think it's pretty without, but if you want to, you can. On these, I don't know if you can see, but I did this. I did just in a couple of flowers, added yellow, and then in these two in the center, I added yellow, but I didn't on the ones on each side of it. Now we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna use our fine dotting tool, and we're gonna put, I'll show you, I'll do the yellow on, you know, on one of them so you can see. So I don't wanna do that too much, so let me dap off extra. Okay. And again, I like the odd numbers, so I'm just doing 3. So I like 3, 5, you know, whatever, but I didn't want to overdo it. Now all you do is just let it dry for a minute, a couple minutes, and then do your top coat. Let's just swipe it over, float it over. And so, you know, if you're doing regular polish, of course you do regular polish here, but you want to get enough on your brush just so you can float it over, just in case. I'm going to put it in my little Delish travel light. Do a top coat on this also. And these are, I just love these. I had actually Maniology smudge free I put over this one. Okay, so these guys are done. Really pretty. So anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Also, would you please click like and subscribe and the bell icon at the top so that you'll get a notice of my next new tutorial. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.